My next question to you is, are there certain beliefs or perhaps myths that the public, the general public, clings to when it comes to sales and salespeople?
Oh, yeah, actually, and the myths are fundamentally flawed and hilarious. But I should stress this. Every industry has its own mythology. Every structure in society develops its own myths. But salespeople are an interaction that we have regularly. As I stated earlier, we go through 1,000 little transactions every day. We don't recognize them as sales transactions. One of my favorites, though, is I get people from every once in a while who go to me, well, you're just a car salesman. And it's true, I did sell cars. Um, Started off as a used car salesman, ended up as a new car salesman, went to luxury cars, ended up as an assistant sales manager, ended up as a sales manager, worked for a short time as a GSM at a dealership. Learned an awful lot about business, management, man management, finance, all good business skills, I might stress.
Mm-hmm.
But I always get a kick out of people when they use that derogatory term, oh, you were just a car salesman, because they saw a movie once, or they didn't like the trade, or they lost a girl to a salesman years ago.
There we go.
But a couple of my favorite examples are, if you ask Jimmy Patterson what his favorite job was, he will tell you he was a car salesman. He had a car lot in Saskatoon.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Patterson is now one of the richest men in Canada. In fact, just gave $50 million to the Children's Hospital in Saskatoon, and people walk by where his lot was here in town every day and have no idea. If you walk down to the bottom of the Broadway Bridge, there's a parking lot that used to be his car lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do we celebrate Jimmy Patterson as a great Saskatchewan businessman? No, we should, but we don't. Do we celebrate salespeople as great salespeople?
Absolutely not.
Not. So, just give you some other examples of the mythology. Born salesman. I was at a family function a few months ago, and my wife's cousin said to me, "But you're a born salesman." And I said, "How long have you known me?" And she goes, "Well, you two have been married just about 29 years. Yeah. Yeah. So you've known me just about 30 years. She goes, "Yeah. When you met me, I'd been in sales for 12 years. Nice that you thought I was born that way." And she goes, "Oh, so sales is not something that the gods give you. It is a skill set, much like a carpenter or a good plumber or a skilled journeyman of any kind. A certain amount of basic training, certain amount of refresher training, and then life's experience over and over and over again. If you watch a skilled carpenter, they can frame a house and you're looking at them going, wait, I don't remember him measuring anything. Well, he did. But he's measured it 1,000,000 times. So now he doesn't have to, and yes, the wall is still straight and square.
Yes.
Right? You watch a skilled barber. They know what they're doing. If you watch really skilled barbers, they often keep one little finger touching your head while they're cutting your hair, because that's how they're measuring the shape of your skull. Skill sets are acquired with experience. They need a certain amount of basic training. And in that respect, I think salespeople should be thought of as journeymen, much like any other skilled tradesman. Salesmen who are good at their craft are fun to watch. They are beyond skilled. And when you recognize that skill within another salesman, they're the easiest people on earth to sell. There's an expression or a line I like to use at trade shows. I like to work trade shows. It's very old-fashioned retail. So let's say you're walking through Gardenscape and I'm trying to get your attention and I'm selling. It doesn't matter. I need you to stop to talk to me.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay. My standard greeting was, I've been waiting for you all day. Now, it's an incredibly silly comment because we don't know each other at that point. How could I have possibly been waiting for you to come to an event I didn't know you were coming to? But because it's so confused and awkward, people stop and chat with me. Too late, now they're talking to me. A few years ago, I was in Istanbul, and I walked into the Grand Bazaar on my first day in Istanbul, and the Grand Bazaar is, the oldest covered mall in the world. It was built in the 3rd century BC. It had 600 stalls. It now has 2,600 stores. I walked in, I got about 10 stalls in, and a guy in a stall looked at me and went, "I've been waiting for you all day." And I thought, oh my God, I have to buy something. But here's the sad part. We believe that salesmen are corrupt. Salesmen are liars. Salesmen are deceitful. Salesmen make all the money. Salesmen do this. Salesmen do this. Salesmen do this. Yet, very few people understand all the things they do. Give you another example. I worked for a firm one time, and one of the receptionists complained that I was never in the office. The day I was hired, my job description said you are required to spend 95% of your time outside sales. So she continued to complain that I was always out of the building. So I sat down with my boss, who told me he was getting tired of these complaints, and I said, well, it's easy. Have her join me tomorrow for my day. She goes, well, that'd be great. I come in at 8. And I said, well, we're in Swift Current at 8. And we were in Saskatoon at the time. She goes, well, if we're going to be in Swift Current at 8, do we leave the night before? No, we get up at 4. We have breakfast on the road. We drive for 3 hours through the prairie and dawn to make our meeting, to go through our day. And she was shocked. She had never given that any thought. So many people think they know what salespeople do because their only interaction is the one they have on the one occasion where they actually thought the person they were dealing with was a salesperson, ignoring all the other times they dealt with salespeople. But these myths that people cling to, best salespeople are extroverts. No, the worst salespeople are extroverts. The best salespeople are introverts. Introverts are constantly trying to understand how the other person thinks. Extroverts are always trying to get liked. Now, if you want likes, go on Facebook. Sell ice cream. But sometimes when you do business, you can't just do what people like. Sometimes you have to tell them the truth. And as Plato said, some of the most hated people on earth are the ones who tell the truth. If you actually go down and you listen to what people complain about salesmen, you know, he didn't give me enough for my car. He didn't like my deal. He didn't laugh at my joke. You mean he didn't lie to you? He didn't lie to you. He didn't lie to you. Yet, oh, you know, they all lie to us, so therefore I can do whatever I want. No, that's a myth. If you go into a business arrangement with anybody starting with the belief that you can lie to them, and you're going to lie to them, and then you're surprised that business fell apart, well, then you're going to end up in small claims court, and that's expensive.
Truly, yes.
The other sad thing is, never do a deal believing this is the only deal you're ever going to do with this person. Try and engage in a sales process that makes them want to do business with you forever.